Hello everyone! So today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be a video listing my top 5 favourite semi-permanent hair dye brands. So obviously you guys that have been following me for a long time know that for many years, since I was like a young teen, I have been dyeing my hair crazy colours, and yeah, I just thought I wanted to do a little breakdown of some dyes that I've used over the years that I would really highly recommend, because I don't know why I've not filmed this before. I get a lot of questions even just when I'm out and about, and people like running up and going, excuse me, what pink hair dye do you use, or how do you get this colour? Like, I've had it for years, and a lot of you guys ask me the same question in my Instagram photos and on my videos, so I thought this would be a kind of fun and interesting video for you guys to see the hair dyes that I would highly recommend and stuff that I've used in the past. So I have 5 hair dye brands that I'm going to be talking about. Some I've got here to show you. I think there's one brand that I don't actually have on me, but I'm going to go through all of them. All the brands I am talking about as well are cruelty-free and vegan, so just disclaiming that they are all cruelty-free. You can look it up. And yeah, another disclaimer, my fan's on. It is still boiling weather here in the UK. I mean, I guess we're not supposed to complain that we're having a heat wave, but I am complaining, and sorry, my phone's going off. And I've got hot dogs as well in the background, so if you hear little puggy pants, that is why. I mention this in every video because I will always get a comment saying, what is that noise? What is that noise? It's my dogs in the background. But yes, I'm going to stop talking now and let's get on to my favourite hair dye brands. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay. So I'm going to list them in my top 5 personal like preference and favourites. This doesn't mean that they're going to work like people's opinions are gonna be different on these brands. Like, some of the brands say that I mention as my like 5th favorite could be someone's number 1, so please do not get offended if you are an avid lover of these. I clearly love all of these dyes, but yeah, I'm just listing them into my personal order on what I've used and my experiences. So yeah. So the first hair dye that I have here is going to be in my number 5 spot is Crazy Color by, is it Rainbow? Yeah, I've used this brand for years, and I literally, I'm not kidding, this isn't it. I've got another 3 in a drawer over there, and I've got 2 bottles downstairs of these. I have so many different colours of them, so if anyone wants their hair dyed, all these colours, just come by my house, I'll dye your hair. I don't know why I have so many. I think it was from, there was one point in time where before I did like my 3-tone hair, I did try and do rainbow hair, and it completely failed. So I have all of these colours now. And yeah, so I've just got full bottles of Crazy Color, and I don't want to bin them just in case I ever want to change my hair. So yeah, my experience with this dye brand is hit and miss. I do pretty much think it is a decent dye brand for the price. That's probably a good idea. I should probably get the prices up of these so you guys get a rough estimate of how much they are. So the official price of these from the Crazy Color website itself is £4 a bottle. So £4 for a bottle is decent, I believe. They're not going to cover like a full head of hair. I believe you'd probably have to get like a number of bottles to do that, even with like my length hair. They are 100ml bottles, so I'd say to do like a full covering of, say, my hair length would take probably up to 3 bottles, but for the price that's not bad. And I know if you look on eBay, which is where I get mine, they're literally even cheaper than that. Almost choked them. Even cheaper than that. I think you can get them for like £2 to £3, so you can get these like everywhere. And I do think they are really good. There's a few colours that have failed for me. I have tried their blue, their bubblegum blue previously, and that literally I thought was really crap. It literally didn't even colour my hair, and my hair is really white blonde underneath obviously all this colour, but it didn't work. But when I'll insert a picture as well here of kind of the colours when I've used them previously on like older hairstyles. When I used to have my 3-toned hair, which you guys, if you like go back to my old videos, was when I used to have my really long hair and it used to be pink to blue to green. The green that I used was Lime Twist. Now if you're someone that really loves a really bright lime green, this color is amazing and it is so pigmented. So that's what I mean, they're like really hit and miss, but you can see how bright of a green it is. And I didn't dilute it at all. I put it on my ends and it would last ages as well. It didn't fade, like I didn't have to constantly re-dye it. I think I probably re-dyed my hair every couple of weeks with the green. It lasted so good. But then there's other colors, like I've used their pink one as well and I didn't find it all that great. The yellow I haven't used before, but I've heard the yellow is really good. I also bought an orange because this time like last year, I wanted to do and the whole reason I have the yellow as well was I was going to do a pink orange to yellow like fade, but I didn't end up doing it, so maybe one day I will do that. But the orange I believe is really good as well. So there's only a couple of colors that I did find aren't very good. Their purple dye as well is really good. I've used that. It's very pigmented, and yeah, I do think that they are really good. They're just hit and miss with certain colors, so I'd not recommend the baby blue one, and I wouldn't recommend the pink one. But if you like, the green was my all-time favorite, and if I was ever putting green in my hair again, I wouldn't reach for another dye except for this one. And I think for the price it's okay for a range, and they have so many colors guys, like so many. And I think I've used the red before on someone and that was really good as well. So it's going to be hit and miss with different ones, so just read reviews if you do purchase on them. But for the price they are so good. Like I used to use so little of this and it was so nice. So the green I used to have in my hair was this color, and for like literally like £4 or less, if they're not all that pigmented, you can't really complain. So all around I pretty much believe this brand is really decent. I probably rate it like 7 to 8 out of 10. It's just only a couple of the bottles that I have tried previously weren't all that pigmented. Like there's pigment there, but they weren't like the colors that I thought they were gonna be. But definitely would recommend certain colors in this brand. They are so good. Like I said, just watch some reviews and that on certain colors before you do purchase them. But the green and the orange and yellow are really bomb, so definitely check them out. I will list down below the exact brands and their names and stuff, and if you literally just look them up online you'll find loads of places. But if you are going to buy these, best place to get them is off of eBay. That is where you get them the cheapest, and possibly check Amazon. I've never bought them off Amazon before, but eBay, so cheap. So yeah, this is one of my, well, this is my number 5 spot favorite. Really good brand, and this is Crazy Color. The next brand I'm going to mention, I haven't really used on myself before, but I have used it on other people. I believe there's like 2 old friends that I have dyed their hair with this color before, and I just wanted to mention it to fill my number 4 spot. And I know it is such a famous dye, so I haven't had any experience on my hair for this, but dyeing other people's hair myself, because I used to always dye my friends' hair. Like all my friends would be like, Chloe, can you dye my hair? So yeah, back in high school I used to always dye my friend's hair. So yeah, I used this color quite a lot, and I believe you can get it like loads of places. You can get it online, and I think you can get it here in like Blue Banana here in the UK. And that is Directions. I feel like most people that are into hair dyes and were kind of like the OG hair dyers from back in the scene days, like me, would love this brand. I think this brand and Manic Panic were like the number ones online for people doing reviews of. So the one I have here is Apple Green. I've never dyed my hair with this color, but it's a forest green. I have used this on someone before though, and it is a really pigmented dye. So these, again, I'll have to look up what they retail for. So on the Directions official website, they retail for, again, just under £4, so really cheap. They're $3.75, but I know if you buy, you can buy them like a bulk off the website, like 4 or 20 packs and that, and then they retail for less each. So say you bought 20 of the dyes, they retail then for like £3 each. So they do deals on there, so it's about the same price as Crazy Colors. I don't know why I thought they were more expensive than this, but I guess they are not. But this is what I have heard a really good brand. They're only little tubs, so I guess like a lot of people use these as like a diluted color. And again, like I said, I've never dyed my hair with it, but I believe I've dyed a friend's hair blue before with directions, and I have used this apple green on someone as well. And it is a really good hair dye. It is so pigmented. It's like literally using a full permanent dye on your hair, and you can dilute them then with conditioner and stuff. And I do find this a really good brand from my experience on using them on other people. And if you literally look up reviews on Directions, nobody has a bad thing to say about them. They are amazing. They have a huge color range. Like honestly, it's ridiculous the amount of colors that they have. And yeah, I feel like nobody ever really talks about this brand anymore, but it is honestly so good. So these bottles are only 88 ml, so they're not technically, I guess it's better money getting the Directions for the price. However, they are very pigmented, so a little bit does go a long way even if you are not diluting them. So yeah, if you guys want to see more stuff, like obviously I've never used them before, but I would like to possibly try out their dyes in the future because I've heard the pigment is unreal, and from experience using them, they are very pigmented. So yeah, if you guys want to see reviews literally on Directions, there's loads of videos on YouTube of people using these dyes, and you can literally see how pigmented they are. So these are like, this is like the OG hair dye from like back in the like 2010 kind of scene phases. Like everyone used Directions, and if you had coloured hair back then, you were cool if you used Manic Panic or Directions. Yeah, a really good dye, would highly recommend. Now the next hair dye that I'm going to mention, I have used previously, and I have used it in a video review that yeah, a Blue Banana sent me some Manic Panic hair dye, so that is my next one. Is again another OG hair dye that from like back in the day everyone used to use Manic Panic, and there's lots of reviews on YouTube. I will link my whole review on Manic Panic down below if you haven't seen it. I used their one Manic Panic pink dye. I can't remember what it's called, but if you watch that video you will see my full review on that, and I thought it was bomb. It was such a good hair dye. So Manic Panic has been around for years. Again, I used to dye friends' hair with Manic Panic dyes, and they were amazing. And then when Blue Banana reached out to me and offered to send me some Manic Panic products, it like obviously was like a dream come true, and I tried some of their makeup brand and their hair dye. And I can't remember what hair dye I exactly used. I think it was from their Intense collection, but they do like the tubs, and they do like loads of different ranges now. I will get up how much they are. So again, here in the UK, the official stocker of Manic Panic is Blue Banana. Now these are a bit more of a pricier hair dye, so yeah, it's the high voltage dyes that I have used previously. Again, they have such a range of colours, and they are vegan friendly. And they are $9.99, the Manic Panic dyes, so I think that's the most expensive range is the high voltage, but they're the ones known with the most pigment, so they are around the £10 mark, so they are a bit more expensive. And they're 118 ml bottles, so yeah, again, it's still good value for money, but they're definitely, Manic Panic has always been that range, which is a lot more expensive than other hair dyes, but the pigment is literally there. It's so good. So when I used the high voltage dye in the pink color that I used, again I can't remember what it's called, but check out that video if you've not seen it. I diluted that with conditioner, and again it just was still so bright, and that full bottle covered my whole hair, and I think my hair was a bit shorter then, it's grown since. And yeah, all of that like covered quite evenly. But again, if you weren't diluting it with conditioner, because obviously that makes more product, I would probably again recommend getting at least 2 or more bottles. So they're a bit fuller than these the crazy color dyes, but again I don't think it's enough quite for a full head, but they dilute really great. The pigment is insane. I think I've got to say, like, the most pigmented hair dye, if you are looking for semi-permanent dyes that don't fade very quick, it's definitely Manic Panic is right up there, probably as like a #1 pigment wise. So if you're into like the super bright neon hair, I would 100% go and reach for Manic Panic. I'm more into like pastel hair, but if you see that video, my hair was so neon pink and I did absolutely dig it. and it lasted really well. Usually, literally, I'm not even joking, with pastel pink hair you have to re-dye your hair at least once a week. If you're lucky, and it's a bit deeper every second week, but literally every week I pretty much have to re-dye my hair because it fades like a bitch. But that Manic Panic dye, I don't think I dyed my hair for at least 2 weeks after. It stayed so pink, and that was with me diluting it. So would highly recommend Manic Panic. They are amazing. And yeah, like I said, in the UK here, I think you can get them on eBay and stuff as well, but I know Blue Banana sell them at a decent price. And yeah, would highly recommend Manic Panic. It is the OG. And again, if you wanted to see loads of reviews, not just mine, YouTube is full of hair dye reviews on Manic Panic, like the same as directions, so go and check that out if there's a specific color that you are looking for. But my experience with the pink, it was amazing, so would highly recommend Manic Panic, and that fills my number 3 slot. Now this was like a hard slot to pick between number 2 and number 1. Sorry, this video is going to be so long, you guys. I love blabbing on. But I've kind of come to the conclusion which I use the most, which is what I'm going to say is my most favourite. But I still love this brand equally as much. But yeah, the other brand I guess I use more for just re-dyeing my hair. So my number 2 spot is going to be dun, 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 Bleach London. You guys know I talk about this brand loads on my Instagram. It is such a good brand, and yeah, you'll know why soon, why it's not in my number 1 spot. But I like freaking love this brand. I've tried so many different colors of theirs. When I used to have my bright blue hair, or I guess if you saw my half pink half blue, and when I went full blue, I used to use Washed Up Mermaid. This is their old packaging now, but I still have bottles lying around. Like that bubblegum blue in my hair was Washed Up Mermaid, and everyone loved that color. So if you want proper bright bubblegum mermaid blue hair, you can't get any better than this. I didn't used to dilute it at all, and you guys would know from when I changed my hair, it was a bitch to get out. So it's not even like it's semi-permanent. I'd have to re-dye my hair literally like once a month. It lasted so well. So blue is a commitment, guys. If you are ever going to dye your hair blue, make sure you are prepared to have it for a long time, because blue hair, everyone knows, is a bitch to get out. So it's a commitment. So do not dye your hair blue. With semi-permanent dye, because it ain't semi-permanent, it literally will stain your hair like a bitch. Like everyone on YouTube that dyes their hair would say the same. But that blue, if you loved that blue, is literally Washed Up Mermaid. And I'd probably use to cover my whole head, again, 2 bottles. There's 150 ml in these, so it is a decent amount, like a lot more than what the other dyes that I have mentioned. And Bleach London dyes, I believe, I'll have to look it up, I think they're about £5 a bottle. Okay, so they are $5.99 a bottle on Superdrug, so they're about the £6 mark, but the pigmentation in them is unreal, and I would highly recommend them for the price. You can now get these on Superdrug, you can get them from Boots, and yeah, I know they have their own website as well. This brand I literally use so much. They now do makeup and everything, and it's really lovely to see a brand that I've used for so long really expand, and yeah, it's just really great to see. And I also, since going cruelty free, use their bleach as well every time I do my roots. And that bleach, if you want fucking white blonde hair and you're someone that, like, say dyes your hair semi-permanent, or you want really white hair, it is amazing. So I used to use like a Schwarzkopf box dye on my roots, and they'd always turn out so yellow that when I'd re-dye over it, it just would never look nice. But this dyes my roots literally absolutely white. And I know my mum has white blonde hair, and whenever she comes over to visit, we always use the Bleach London dye on her hair, because it just, if you love platinum blonde hair, you can't get better. And they do so many other different blonde shades now. It is amazing to see how they have grown. But yeah, my old blue, which I will insert a picture, is Washed Up Mermaid by them. And when I first did the ends of my hair purple, I used Violet Skies, and it is really good. It is true to what it says. It's a very light violet. So again, it was very pigmented, but it only really is going to last you like 1 to 2 washes. So again, I'll mention in my number 1 this color that I do use for my purple ends now. So it's very good if you love a really light lavender hair. I really do like this, but I want my hair to be a little bit more intense of a like lavender than this color is. It's a very kind of grayish violet. And I also, as a touch up on my hair in between dyes, when I want it super pastel, I use the rose hair dye as well. I love this. It is really good dye if you want super pastel hair. So in between dyes, when my hair's faded but not too faded, I'll always go in with the rose dye, and I have used their rose shampoo and conditioner as well to try and upkeep my pink hair. And when I last re-dyed my hair as well, when I did my roots, I used one of their new colors called Awkward Fuchsia, I think it is, something like that, and that was so good. I didn't dilute it, and my hair, the pink, is literally probably 2 weeks in now, and I haven't really had to re-dye it. It was a really good color, so would highly recommend Bleach London. Like, this stuff is so good, and the range again they do of semi-permanent colors, they do like, I know they do now a bright green and a bright yellow. So like, if you're ever wanting to try like wild colors like that, they're always expanding their range and they look super fun. So yeah, would highly recommend Bleach London. It's literally only just not taking the number 1 spot, but it is literally so good. And I guess, can I not tie it as number 1? It's so hard to pick, but I use the crap out of this. I use it like all the time, and I'm always using new stuff of theirs because they are so freaking good. So would highly recommend this brand. So filling my number 1 spot is the Superdrug Color Freedom range by Wilson and Knight. So these, I feel like, are dyes that people don't really talk about, and that's why I wanted to put them in my number 1 spot. And also, these are the colors that I use literally whenever I re-dye my hair. I sometimes in between washes, I generally kind of reach for like Bleach London Rose, like I mentioned, and occasionally when they come out with a new Bleach London Pink, I kind of mix between Bleach London and this brand, but this is my main go-to brand. So whenever I do my roots, I use this pink color, and I have recently started using the purple for my ends. So this is the Color Freedom range by Superdrug. It is all vegan, obviously, and cruelty-free, being Superdrug's own range. And I feel like these are kind of underrated. They are so good. So when people ask me what I use, this is pretty much what I use. They are amazing. It's so hard for me to be like, this is what only thing I use, because like I said, I mix between like Bleach London and this depending on how I'm feeling and the fade in my hair, but the main thing I use is these. So I started using Mystic Purple recently to on the ends of my hair, so I have diluted it. They're so easy. They're literally 150 ml bottles, so there's so much dye in these, and they are so pigmented. So if you are obviously into the whole pastel look, all their range is super bright, so you do have to dilute it with conditioner, but they retail for $6.99, guys, for how much you get in this bottle. They last me months. Like, I'm not constantly having to repurchase them. There's so much in a bottle. It lasts me so long, and I just get a big bottle of plain conditioner from Superdrug, and I mix the dilution rate in. So whenever I have a shower, wash my hair, I can just re-dye it then when I'm in the shower. It just makes it so easy. So what is on the ends of my hair now to make this like a violet purple shade, I just wanted it a hint darker than the Bleach London Violet Skies color, because like I like my hair to be more of a bubblegum pink, and I feel like that was just a bit too light for me. And I've been using this. I've already made a mixture in a bottle, and it is so good. So this is what it kind of turns out like. It's like a really beautiful like lavender shade, and I feel like if you wanted to go bright purple, it is like so pigmented and so nice, and I feel like it's not fading super quick as well. So I'm really happy with that. And my main pink that I've literally been using for years since I've re-dyed my hair back pink is the color Pink Pizzazz. Again, I dilute this with lots of conditioner to make it the perfect like bubblegum pink shade, and it is so pigmented. Again, any pink hair dye you use, you will have to re-dye it quite frequently, but I feel like with this it's so easy to just mix it up and throw it. Again, I already have a pre-mixture made in a conditioner bottle, and yeah, these are literally the main two that I use for my hair. I have also used the blue before, and it was a really nice blue before I switched to Bleach London, and yeah, it is like literally this stuff is so good. So my main dye that I use is this Color Freedom range, and like I said, I occasionally will, when I'm feeling a bit lazy and don't want to like mix new dye, I will use the Bleach London range. And I use the Bleach London Bleach, so that's why it was so hard to pick a #1 slot. But I guess the easiest one for me to use, and the ones I find that work best for the colour that I'm going for, is the Wilson and Knight, or Knight and Wilson, sorry, Color Freedom range by Superdrug. They're so cheap and they have so many colours, guys, so I feel like they're so underrated. So if you are dyeing your hair any form of a crazy color, I would definitely check these out. So literally, if you guys are ever looking to achieve like the same pink I have, or the same purple that I now have on the ends, these are the colors that I mainly use. They are bomb, they are so good, and they are great value for money, and like they are just huge bottles. They last so long. So this is my #1 slot, is the Color Freedom by Superdrug. Obviously as well, just to mention, if you're not in the UK, I don't really know if you can get Color Freedom, because they just sell them at Superdrug here, which is like a local kind of drugstore. I guess what you'd call it in America is a drugstore. So yeah, I'm not sure where else you can get it if you're not here in the UK, but I guess if you just look online, you might be able to find them. So that is it, you guys, for my top 5 favorite hair dye brands. I really hope you guys found this video helpful and you really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed filming it for you guys. Sorry I babbled a lot. I just wanted to give you guys as much information as I possibly could about each brand and why I love them. I vouch for every single one of these brands. I wouldn't be mentioning them if I didn't like them or didn't have good experiences with them. So they are all amazing, and you guys know I love crazy colored hair, so in the future I'll probably end up using all of these brands again, not just the one. So yeah, I really hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did, and I will link down below the products that I mentioned, and I will also link the hair dye video where you can see my review on Manic Panic like I mentioned. I'll link previous videos, and there will also be links to my social networking sites in the description box down below, so make sure you check that out. Make sure if you do like my videos and you like me that you subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here permanently. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I love you guys so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.